Today I have two very special guests. I've got Jacob and Julian, the founders of Overtime Men's Health. Between their personal profiles and their company, we've got over 500,000 followers, which they have amassed in less than 2 short years. These guys are absolutely crushing it financially, but they're gonna go through and show us how these personal brands that they have established have enhanced everything else that they've done, the authenticity of what they're bringing to the table, how that's impacting their business's growth nationwide, and to get on their mission of making a huge impact in men's health. Stay tuned for Beyond the Followers. Well, we are here hanging out at the Overtime Mansion with my buddies Julian and Jacob from Overtime Men's Health, and we are going to get beyond the followers and figure out what is going on because they've both built such amazing personal brands. The Overtime brand has exploded. It's only been like, what, a year and a half that you kicked all this off?
Yeah, it all happened so fast. It's crazy.
That's crazy, man. And what were you guys working on before that? Like, were you already in the space? What was kind of the culmination of like, all right, let's just go do this the way that we want to do it?
You would never guess what we did before this.
I would say something in the health and wellness fitness world.
Nope.
And
we used to sell pest control door to door.
Man.
That's where we got our start. And a lot of people don't realize, we had the conversation another day with a buddy of ours, but it's one of the hardest jobs on planet Earth besides being in the military. Reason being, imagine being in the Florida heat from May until the end of August, so 4 months straight, and you're knocking from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. at night, 6 days a week. Sunday, you're using the day to train. So you're having to deal with learning how to sell something, rejection. It's a complete cold approach because you're knocking on random doors.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's one of those things where you either make it or you don't. There is no in between with that.
And from a training component, I mean, just considering that is like that profession, call center people, like if you do that and you can be successful, you could do. The doors are flying open. I mean, and I don't think as many of the sales professionals realize that. Maybe until afterwards, the recruiters are probably knocking on your door, like, "Hey, you're kicking ass this way. We can go do this and make a lot more money with a lot less pain in the ass."
That's the pipe dream they always start with is you can use this as your vehicle, and then they make it really hard to get out of the vehicle, and they won't try to keep you there forever. But the guys that do it well, they'll learn the skill, make the money, take that and go apply it to what they want to do. And that was exactly the path we followed. We'd both been enthusiasts of this industry for a long time, and we'd already had sales skills. Now we were selling something we actually believe in and feel good about giving to people. We're changing lives. It's a much better feeling.
So on the pest control side, like from that, what would be a typical conversion rate that was like acceptable from the industry side of it?
So we actually learned a lot of the fundamentals of business from doing this job, and we got really comfortable and used to tracking KPIs on a daily basis for ourselves. So they gave you a certain amount of doors you had to knock that day. It was typically about 200 doors. So 200 doors knocked that day. You wanted to get about 50 to 70 DMs. A DM is a decision maker, someone that can open the door and actually physically have the ability to give you a card saying yes or no, so have the authority.
20% of people, 25% of people.
Yeah. Out of those, if you were good, or at least as a rookie, they told you like, hey, you get like close 1 in 25 DMs, like you're good. That's 2 sales a day. Whereas like if you were really good, it goes down to 1 in 10, then 1 in 5, and then like, elite level was like 1 in 2. Man. When we first started out, we were both in that category of, we were selling 1 in 5 people we talked to. It was, I don't want to say innate, but when you put your mind to something, which we've just learned what we've applied there to every other area of our life, truly believe that how you do anything is how you do everything. Lock yourself in a room for 3 days straight and you just figure it out and learn it, like you'll do it. If there's a will, there's a way. But more important than that, personally, when I first started selling, I had no idea what we were going out to do. So typically for a rookie, they told you, hey, getting 1 to 2 a day is good. Like if you get 1, like you're great.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was good or what was bad. So when I went out there, I went out on my own completely. And I just had it in my mind to get 10 because I was listening to a podcast on the way there.
Look, if someone told you look 1 or 2 is great, that's your benchmark where you're just like I'm self-imposing, like I'm gonna talk to this many people. Shit, I better get at least 10.
Limiting belief.
Yeah.
Yeah, it holds you back, and you don't realize that. I went out there, I got 9, and I went home with like my head kind of held down, like I didn't get 10, and like everyone was sitting there waiting, like to congratulate on the fact that you broke the record. It's like I thought that was bad.
It was that moment right there of like that Wolf of Wall Street moment. When they're sitting in the first time and he just is on the phone, I've got the best deal, and he's selling the shit stuff, and everybody's just like, what the hell did this guy just do? It was like you walked into the office lighting everybody up. That's awesome.
The lesson learned from that is limiting beliefs hold so many people back.
Yeah.
And that's one thing for our business. It's like when we started this, we're not medical professionals. I didn't get a college degree. He got a college degree.
Stayed in like an idiot. Yeah, it's useless.
What we learned is if you impose that limiting belief that because you don't have the degree, because you're not a medical professional, you can't do this and you can't grow this fast because it's not what other people do, you'll do exactly what your mind thinks you can. So when you escape out of that cage and don't give yourself that box that most people put themselves in, the sky is truly the limit. It's a cliche saying, but it's so true. We've seen it happen firsthand.
Look, and you have all of the different successes that you guys have had on the social side with the personal side. So when you guys were kicking everything off, were you considering how are we going to, and I love the way it's turned out to where like I'm always encouraging places like become your own influencer, become your own third-party validation tool, which you guys have done an extraordinary job of. But was that part of the idea in the beginning, or was let's get the brand going? Like, look, this is a new industry. You guys had no really experience in what was going on with it. So what was the like, all right, how are we starting this?
Yeah, it's funny. In the beginning, we had the thought in our head, like, we got to hire like an actor. Because at the time we were 23 and 21. And we said, we don't have gray hair. Like no one that was talking about medical is going to want to hear from us.
Yeah.
So the idea was, all right, let's go get someone to be a spokesperson and put them in front of the camera and they'll be the face. We'll just kind of run things. We eventually came to the decision with the help of ourselves and our social media guy at the time was like, you guys should do it. Like just put your face in the camera. We weren't necessarily concerned with being in the videos. It was, are we going to be trusted? Like who would want to come to us?
Yeah.
And we started making the videos and pretty quickly it just got traction.
Nice.
And people started coming to us. It definitely started with a younger demographic and then it started branching out to guys in their 30s, 40s, 50s now, recognize us as the overtime guys. And that's where the whole process started. The company page got its first traction. And then we started doing more on the personal brand side because we realized we had a knack for this. And from there, it started to snowball and build on itself. And it's been going great since.
Nice. So then you guys see, is there any one particular avenue that is more of the visible exposure side and another side is more lead gen side? I'm sure one of the things is obviously leading the charge. Or is it a little bit even across the board?
It's definitely not even across the board. Most of our business comes from organic traffic, less paid traffic. And that's actually one flip-flopped. We anticipated it was going to be the opposite direction.
Yeah.
When you go into business, one thing you'll realize is you think it's going to go a certain way, and it goes the complete opposite. If there was another adjective to describe more opposite, we'd use it. But the lesson in that is, Darwin, people think and misconstrue what he taught about evolution in it's not survival of the fittest, it's survival of who's willing to adapt the most. Whoever can adapt and change to their circumstances is the one that ends up living the longest, not the strongest at the time. So in business, it operates the same exact way. Everyone's got a perfect business plan that it's like if they don't follow it to a T, they're crumbled mentally, not actually in real life. But you lose in here way, before you lose in real life. So if you're just willing to roll with the punches as you learn and figure things out and just say, okay, you know what? I thought it was going to work this way.
Yeah.
It worked this way. That's the only way a partnership's going to work too. I've got ideas on the way the business should run. He's got ideas on the way business should run. At the end of the day, we both want what's best for the company, not what's best for ourselves. So we put ego aside. I don't care if I'm right. He doesn't care if he's right. It's what's best for the company.
Yeah. How are we testing this? What are we testing? How fast can we figure it out, whether it's working or not?
Yeah.
And keep going. And look, that's really, I think, one of the amazing things on all of the social sides of things that we work with, where it's easy to fail fast. You got an idea, make it. If it's not hitting the way we think it is, cool. What was the next thing on deck, and how do we just ditch it? Yeah. I've had some of the frustrating components of things that I've done over 20 years of stuff is the first time I've done many things, the first one works perfectly, like crazy. We had a page, and I still have it. It's got 250,000 nurses on it, and we got connected to a travel nursing recruiting company. We're like, cool. What's the commission on it? How's this going to work? All we got to do is post one of these jobs. If someone takes it, we get action on it. First one, we get like 5 leads. Somebody closes the next day. We're like, great, $500 a day. This is going to be amazing. And then we didn't get one for like 3 months. You're just like, God damn it, what's going on?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I think that happens, and it's the exact same reason I think our socials have done well. A lot of people on social media or in anything, when they're first starting out, they're so blindly ignorant that they're just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall, seeing if it sticks.
Yeah.
And once you find something, they all think like, okay, I have to follow this tactful way to do it. especially on social media, you'll see these companies start one and they're all trying to make conversion-based posts. Everything is come in here, get our stuff, and they're trying to make these trends and these kind of cringy a little bit videos, but it's like always with the back of their service in mind. Versus if you just go out there and just be authentic and say what you actually think about this stuff, and you can make it funny. Like if you're a funny person, use that. Everybody thinks they have to be professional on social media. It's the exact opposite. Nobody wants to see it. So the same thing is like when you're first starting out anything, you're just kind of like, whatever, I don't really care. So you don't overanalyze what might be a detail that you think is hurting you that's actually going to help you.
Yes, I mean the authenticity and then the non-perfection components of the stuff. Like
everyone thinks their shit don't stink, and like it does, and like that's fine. Like don't take it personally. Like that's a learning experience. You don't learn when your video goes viral. You learn from the 10 videos that you posted that completely shit the bed. Excuse my French, but for lack of better words, that's what happens. You learn from those to pivot and actually change something. But change doesn't happen unless you are willing to.
And then after that viral one, you learn not leaning on that to be just like, okay, this is the only type of thing that we're going to make. It's like, all right, if you're not, every one of them is not going to go viral. It would be cool, but how do we keep things? And one of the most important components to it, I think you have is how do we relate to that audience of that new followers that we got because of that viral video? Was that viral video in context? Because sometimes you throw some random stuff out there and you're just like, this would be fun. Goes crazy, audience gets built, and it's like, all right, well, I still need the context of what people are participating with to be this. They're on that, and now we've almost got like not an unusable audience, but an audience that now has to get re-educated or...
You got to be obsessed with the numbers. It's all this is all numbers. I mean, everything in business is numbers. So like if you look at your analytics, and this could be YouTube, short form, any kind of content, and you are studying how can I get people to watch how can I get more people to retain past the first 3 seconds? Okay, cool. I've made it past the first 3 seconds. I've mastered my hooks. Now how do I get them to watch the rest of the stuff? Okay, cool. What is my target audience? You're supposed to have done that first. All these things, you're tactically looking at them every single day. The same way that you would look at your business bank account and your other metrics that you track, you're going to be successful. There's no way you can lose. The algorithms, they're not out to get you. And one thing I hear a lot of people say is, oh, I'm shadow banned. And it's like, in reality, 0.1% of people on the platforms are shadow banned. Your videos just suck.
They're just,
and you don't suck. Your videos just suck. We've made videos that suck. It's not
100%.
They take it personal. So they try to find every way to justify why everyone's out to get them, except for their own internal belief. And it's like one thing that I think separates high performers from average, mediocre, and low performers is the fact that the accountability part, it's not there. That's why one of our core values is own every outcome at our company. And we have all of our staff follow this because that's one thing that's made us extremely successful. In fact, I'd rather be the person that's wrong and that messed up as opposed to somebody else. Because I can't control what they do or the weather, but I can control what I do. And if you have that kind of mentality with everything else, it bleeds. And all of our employees, we hire and fire based on their core values. If you can't own outcomes and take responsibility, you don't have a place here. And that's fine. You don't have a place somewhere else, but it's not here.
Well, look, I mean, look, the hiring climate that we're in, I mean, my wife has a printing company, and it's just a challenging thing when she's, who do I need to put in this one place, and then who's available for that based on that level of compensation, what are the skill sets that are needed, all right. You have this perception of like, we need someone who's really, really great at this. It's like, all right, well, how much is really great at this cost? Does a C plus kind of value, that might work for this because we just need it done. And that's one of the tricky things in business. And really what you guys have built, having so much specialization, I imagine there's a number of medical professionals within it. And you guys are doing, the blood draws are on site. So you've got nursing component. I don't know what certification or...
The biggest skill set is you got to be the connector if you want to run a successful organization. You can't be the person that's good at everything, but find the people that are and put them in that place. And we have 8 players across our team in the medical side and the non-medical side. And our job is to nourish those relationships, lead from the front and from the top, but at the same time you have to bring on people that you can trust to lead everybody else.
There's a full arsenal of staff, and you talk about yourself. The job market. Everybody wants to complain. The job market's so hard right now. It's so hard to find a job. It is not hard to find a job. Everyone sucks. People are becoming useless. You talk to anybody who's gotten a college degree in the last 10 years, what they learned in college, they didn't learn anything practical. They most likely either have been using AI, or before that we had Socratic and other tools that you could use just tell you the answers. The reason that the job market is difficult is not because there's no one hiring. It's because you don't have a skill set of any kind that provides any value to anybody. I would argue it's the easiest it's ever been to make a ton of money in corporate America because all you need is one skill set that is different than
That's probably the leading skill set.
Everybody wants to work from home. Everybody wants to have this cushy job. If you are willing to work even a little bit harder, the opportunity is limitless. All of our friends that own companies say the same thing. Everyone's looking for talent and they're willing to pay for it.
Totally. I mean, the people that are not willing, the showing up and being that one, and not even from the skill set side. I think if you show up with the commitment to like, I want to learn this. Like, I just want to figure it out. What you guys do is interesting. How do I fit in? Where do you need the support? And showing up for it. I mean, I used, when I started doing, I'm 41 now, so where when I started doing stuff, I was 22 running networking events, and I remember talking to somebody like, pretty confident I can get a job anywhere if I want one. And they're just like, why would you think that? You don't have a degree. I was like, I'm just going to go outwork somebody. I'm just going to go in and be like, what do I need to learn to make this work? And then how are they going to say no? Like, look, don't even pay me. And I quoted that in another video we did. I'm like, don't pay me until it works and I'm being valuable, because now you're indispensable.
It's a valuable skill set.
That indispensable skill set and
you make yourself irreplaceable in the workplace. If you become important by accident, now you get paid whatever you want, right? Because they're not going to train someone new. That's number one, time consuming and wildly expensive.
Totally.
And there's never been an easier, to tie off what you said, there's never been an easier time in history to stand out, especially as a man in today's age. What does the average man nowadays do in their 20s? The average man in their 20s eats like crap, doesn't work out, is addicted to his phone, and quite frankly probably doesn't work out.
Yeah.
If you just get those fundamentals in order, maybe you spend a little less time scrolling than everybody else, how easy it is for you to get ahead is astronomical. Owning a business and looking at resumes all day long, business owners and corporations and companies could care less about your college degree. Yeah. They could care less about your GPA. Unless you're going into some STEM field where it's required, I think it's absolutely, utterly useless. Unless you're going into those, requirements like anything math, engineering, technology, medical. But if you're not, you don't need it. And if you have that belief that I'm going to outwork everybody, and you're willing to sacrifice a bit of pay up front. See, everyone's entitled nowadays too.
100%.
So they want to get to the job and say, I deserve this. I deserve that. No, you deserve nothing. You haven't done anything yet.
That's why when I fight with marketing companies, but I'll hang out with somebody and they'll be like, oh, we're going to hire this company. And they're going to charge us some ridiculous amount of money. I'm like, you're paying them to try shit, guys. Like, I hate going into a place and if they're asking me to do promo, if you guys say, hey, we want Tempe's awesome to do some promo stuff for us, I'm like, I got to live one. How can I contextually make this interesting and relevant to my audience? Like, you guys I saw on the website have like a volleyball thing that you're sponsoring, or I don't know if it happened yet, but I saw it on there. It's like, all right, cool. That's something that relative to my audience, but I still have no idea. I'm like, guys, this could just totally shit the bed. Let's post it, see how it does, and if it created value, then let's figure out how that looks on the back end side of it.
We actually didn't do the volleyball event for that reason.
Yeah, everyone jumped in. But to your point, everything's trial and error. This is the biggest thing that men, I think, struggle with, is everybody's afraid to fail because everything is publicized now. There's social media on everything. Any text you send to a girl asking her out is going in a group chat. Everything we do is going to be publicized, whether you're good or bad at it. So everyone has this shame for like starting at the bottom level. They don't want to work an entry-level job. They don't want to go up and talk to the girl because they know if I don't do well or people are going to see me doing this, I'm going to look bad right now. It's hard to go past that and think, okay, well, what does that mean 5 years from now? If I never start, 5 years from now, I'm in the same spot.
Still never start.
But nobody thinks that far in advance. And I think it hits men more than anybody.
No one cares either. Like, really, no one. You post a video, it flops, no one saw it. You get rejected by the girl, it likely won't get talked about for more than 24 hours. Yeah. It's like people think, and they have, maybe it's ego, maybe it's whatever the term is for it, they think other people are thinking about them so much more than they are, and likely it's not the case. And if it was the case, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's cool. It's cringe until it works.
100%.
It's always cringe until it works. No one wants to go through that awkward phase where they're just maybe embarrassing or
awkward.
Not good at it yet, but you have to go through that to get good. And in fact, that's why I mentioned earlier, it's never been easier to get ahead, because if you can just get past that phase and just have that I don't give a fuck energy and walk around with that proudly and just walk as if you've already made it.
With that kind of energy, you dress like it, you walk like it, you talk like it, you become it. It's inevitable.
It's there. So when you guys were initiating the launch of all of the, when things started dialing in and working on the social side of things, did you start creating content plans, or is it then, and is it still now a little bit, flying by the seat of our pants, kind of like?
Content plan usually means you're going to post some shitty piece of content because you're trying to plan it out and think so methodically that this is what an audience is going to like. You're trying too hard. No, that is not authentic, right? That is you trying to make money on Instagram, on TikTok. People smell that from a mile away. We are far past the years where you can create some kind of sneaky sales script or some, money-making scheme, because everyone is so observant to it now more than anything, because we've seen it 100 times. If you are not actually going out there with pure intentions, we have an actual mission. It is to rebuild the modern man. We think men today are in a horrible place compared to what they used to be. They're demonized for being masculine, and they have no energy, will, or drive to do anything that they used to do. That is the reason we wake up every day. It's the reason we post videos. It's the reason we're in business. We have an actual mission that we believe in. There's a lot of companies that are built around purely dollars. They're I think real estate is a prime example of this. Nobody is in real estate for a purpose. There's a couple guys out there.
Yeah.
Most guys are in it so, I can build long-term passive income. You hear that word all the time.
Absolutely.
That's, to me, not authentic. If you're posting content about that, the only other people who are interested in that, guys who are trying to make money.
Yeah.
But you're not getting anybody bought into that. Nobody's getting behind that. So I think it's important for men to have a purpose, and I think today especially we see that gone because of how difficult the financial climate has become. Everybody's just focused on I need money, not what am I doing to better my people, the community, people around me, society, everything.
If you have an actual mission statement that's authentic and true to your core that you believe in and you embody those values, making content is effortless. Not easy, effortless.
Totally.
Because if you're thinking about those all day long, you're going to get into real life scenarios where the content's just going to hit you. Write that stuff down. Our best ideas never came down from hey, let's sit down for an hour and plan content. Absolutely not. We've tried both options. It never works. And when we do that, the content usually flops. Why? Because it's not authentic. You're trying too hard. Trying too hard essentially just means, like he said, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. When you have a mission statement that's true to your core, you're going to go about life and you're just going to get inspired from what you see.
I think I'm going to so I'm consuming both of the content you guys are producing, and yours a little bit more on I'm the experiment, right? Yes. I'm treating my body as I'm taking these, I'm trying these things, seeing what's happening, seeing what's working. When I think of the content planning component to it, I think that I would think from one, what am I going to talk about as far as what are the product, or what is the supplement, what's the peptide, what's the whatever that is. I think that's kind of the context of all right, we want to talk about things that are relative to the industry that we're in. But then you can't do this stuff every single day. Obviously, some things, I need to take it for a month. Mm-hmm. I got to take it for this. I got to do that.
You can do it every day. I mean, I do it every day.
There's something, but
to your point, there's always something different to mix in there.
Yeah.
To your point, there's only so much that you can post about what we offer at our company. I would say, close to 50% of the stuff I talk about, we don't even sell. And the reason I talk about it is I think it's just in the space and
100%.
It's worth noting, but everything is always just what am I doing right now, right? There's never where I'm usually talking about okay, I'm gonna hit this product this day, that one the next one, and then we're gonna have this cycle to it. It's completely authentic in the sense where it's I just did a video today where I talked about a peptide that increases sex drive. And I just tried it over the weekend, gave it a shot, gave it to a girl too, and just wanted to see what would happen. And that was the video of the day. I just recorded that one and posted that one. So it really is just about, for me, I think this stuff is interesting. I've been doing it for so long anyway. I figure people might as well know what's happening to me.
People 100%. Give themselves the label of content creator, and when you give yourself that label, it's easy to run out of ideas. Whereas when you just live life and then film that, you live an interesting enough life that's worth talking about, and you can provide some sort of substance and value with that, you're never going to run out of ideas because there's endless things to do and endless things to talk about. But you get put in this little box because I'm a content creator and I got to put out content every single day. What do I make a video about today?
Yeah.
Live your life, record that, film that, talk about the experience. There's a million different angles. You can talk about one product 1,000 different times and put a different spin on it. To put all that, I just made a video where there was sarcasm involved, but it was
these are the peptides you absolutely should not take in 2026. And I proceeded to list off all positives about the peptide while saying, kind of like when you're nodding your head but saying no at the same time. You can make that and spin it a million different ways. But it's never planned methodically like we're going to do this day, that day, that the next day. It's just as it goes.
Nice. I like batch stuff. Just because I think within each person's different industry, like look, if I'm going to have to go talk about a bunch of different restaurants, going and doing stuff, which we're doing every day already, it's like, all right, I don't want to have to do 20 videos over the next month. I'll get them done this week.
Yeah.
We'll schedule stuff out, event stuff, obviously different industries and this and that. I mean, we had a guest on recently where just makes very, charged up content in specific mediums where there's always current events for them to talk about. So It's like, that's not a planned thing.
That's always
it's
happened.
Like,
that's news outlets, yeah.
Cool, dumpster fire's going on. How do we make that content and go after it to where it's so interesting and fun to look at? And really one of the reasons why we wanted to create this show is there's so much, it's not even misinformation. It's just like unknown. People are like, I want to create content. I want to be this person online. I want to be a celebrity. I want to do this. It's like, well, one, let's say your video is, the Haktui girl goes viral. It's like, all right, now that she's got to figure out how to make this something and continue to be somewhere, make content that's still, what the hell is relevant in that space? It's like, I got one banging video that I am now famous for.
Set a line. It's not to say that methodical content planning doesn't work. In fact, there's a lot of people that are very successful at it. I believe, and I'm speaking for myself, that way of living of I'm going to pre-plan what I'm going to go do, and then I'm going to film it, I'm going to put it up, see how it does with engagement. That to me sounds like a really miserable way to live. It's having to pre-schedule what you're going to do in order to try to become famous, as you say, or to bring in more views. I would rather, to Julian's point, just live the life that I want to live anyway. Do something so interesting that people give a shit about it on their own. And if what I'm doing is not cool enough, maybe I need to do some cooler stuff, right? So it's like there's always a route you can go. You can plan how many days a week you're going to make a post. You can plan where you're going to be, where you're going to do. And that can work. But in terms of longevity, I think just like everything, the longer you're in this game, the better it works out for you. A lot of people post for years and years before they get one that hits. The longer you can stay in it, the better chance of success you're going to have. And I think personally, I would get kind of over it. This is why I think we see so many people fall off of the content wagon. People post for 3 months. They're like, oh, we're going to bring so many views to the business, to me. And then it doesn't work. And they're like, it's not worth it, whatever. Versus if they just ingrained it into their regular life and just filmed whenever it was convenient, I think they'd be around a lot longer.
Well, I think there's almost these misconceptions, which are rightfully so, because no one really has, and part of, again, the show of it is like, what's really, like, how is the money actually working? Because like one of these creators that we had, millions, like you looked at the profiles, 3+ million followers on TikTok, 15, 20, 30 million views a month. Just saying that, you'd be like, well, yeah, I'm sure that they're probably making...
Killing it.
Crushing it.
You would think.
I mean, like $3,000.
Yeah.
And they're making money on product sales, where it's one, understanding that views, while great, don't necessarily correlate because of maybe the audience, the category that you're in. Where I didn't even, when we were having that conversation, I was naive to it too. I was like, dude, this guy's definitely printing some money, because it's like, there's getting a ton of watch time on it. And after we were like, no, he's not, I'm like, all right, interesting. So the industry could definitely be such a tremendous factor where in the health and wellness space, like if you guys were on and not even a pursuit of it, it's just going to naturally occur where they're just offering you the monetization status on Instagram, TikTok, wherever. That money that comes in from that, one, can just supplement ads and whatever else you guys want to end up doing. But that space is a high CPM space. Advertisers are spending crazy money to be in front of people interested in health and wellness, where every industry is not like that. To where I learned it with the food side, where I was shocked at how much the CPMs are for getting in front of those audiences from what advertisers are going to spend. So it's and again, I've looked it up so many times. There's no like, here's the average CPM rate and all these things based on social media and what you're going to earn, because it's different from network to network, different from audience to audience. Like it's we're all going after moving targets. So did you guys have a specific, any like one thing that stood out, any post that stood out in the beginning that like drove a ton of traffic over, and you were just like, oh, okay, this is a direction. Let's analyze how we're going to make this, and each have our own thing going on.
Well, it completely pivoted the entire trajectory of our business model. For reference, when we first started out, we had no intention of becoming any sort of celebrity online. I think people chase fame when they should really chase a purpose and then attract an audience from that purpose. Hawk Tuah Girl is even a good example. She never intended to be famous, but it happens on accident. The best kind of fame, and not to say that's the best kind of fame, but it's just how it is.
Yeah.
For us, when we first started, the intent, like Jacob said, was to hire someone to be the face for the brand, because we wanted someone that was in their 40s, 50s, that had the salt and pepper hair, that was jacked, that looked good, to be that person. Turned it up, we were wrong, and it was us in our scenario. So we had to pivot there. Then we made our first breakthrough on content. We were posting content. We weren't getting bad on engagement, but less than 10,000 views per video, 3 to 5 to 6. It was decent. It was getting, a decent amount of engagement. Most of it was our friends. And then we posted one video where everything changed. I remember getting on the phone with Jacob, like, dude, we hit 10,000 views on this video. Like, how crazy is that? A couple hours later, 20,000 views. 8 hours later, 100,000 views. You're on the phone like, dude, 100,000 people saw this video. Fast forward, we were getting cigars one day and we hit 1 million views.
Nice.
And we're like, dude, there's something to this. Then it hit 5 million, then 10 million. Then we're sitting here like, dude, when's it gonna stop? 15 million, 20 million. It's at 23 or something like that million views right now.
Nice.
Posted that a year and a half ago. And that was an idea that came to us in the shower. Right?
Yeah.
We just thought of it in the shower, went out, wrote it down, and we filmed it. Simple concept. There was a stitch. Stitches were popular online at the time. Guy goes in to kiss the girl. She rejects him. And then it's immediately me opening the door to overtime, like, hey, Tyler, we've been expecting you. Come on in, let me give you a quick tour. Right? He just got dumped by the chick. Guys want to go to the gym or get their life in order and optimized. So that was the whole trajectory. With all that reach, that came with hundreds and thousands of DMs all over the country. I wanted to use your services. I wish there was an overtime near me. We're sitting here like, man, we were going to expand an hour in each direction just from Tampa. The plan was to Orlando, Naples, Sarasota, in that order, and then go slowly, opening one store every 18 months. That was the box that we had initially put ourselves in, because that's what other people did. That opened our eyes, and man, we had to find a way to fulfill these people. And we can't fulfill them by opening up one of these storefronts. It takes way too long and it's too expensive. How can we do it? Did a little bit of digging. Telemedicine was the next logical step. But it comes with complications. So with that, you take 2 steps forward, you get kicked in the nuts, and you got to go 1 step backwards. And that cycle kind of repeats itself. You think you're making all this progress, and you get kicked in the nuts, and you got to just restart all over again. But that led charge to telemedicine and changing our entire strategy for this. Nice. Now I want to see how many people we can impact on a national level. In fact, we have no intent of opening up another storefront in the next year or 2 years. Eventually, there'll be big super centers that are able to really appeal to the masses and just be state-of-the-art centers that are just places people really want, like destination spots. Nice. But as far as how can we have the biggest impact with utilizing what we've built on social media, it's going nationwide as fast as possible and providing the highest level of care to anyone across the country.
Does the telemedicine side create any limitations to the offerings that you can have? I'm sure.
Yes.
Yes? Yeah,
it does.
I would imagine so, yeah.
There's a couple things that we're now doing just in the brick and mortar location. So some of the services that were only done in person, such as hair restorations, stem cells, injury recovery, erectile dysfunction, stuff like that, that was a physical service or a machine. Of course, that can only be done in person. Everything else in terms of, testosterone, peptides are all the rage right now. Any of the different vitamins, anything in that realm, all of that can be done online. In fact, I believe customers actually get a better quality of service online. It's way less driving, number one. You don't have to come in and out of a place. As well as the price is a lot cheaper for them because we're able to cut down on costs significantly when we're going on a virtual model. And they have someone that they can act as more of a concierge medicine. They don't have to come in and see us whenever they have a question. Now it's, hey, let me contact my guy real quick. I think it's a lot better for the customer, and it's going to make it cheaper for everybody involved.
Nice. I was watching a bunch of the viral videos before, and the one I was trying to, when you were referencing it, I was like, I know I saw one of the ones that went viral, but the one when it was the Tampa guy who just shows up, that was hysterical.
Yeah.
Just showing up and just like, oh yeah.
We stumbled on that.
Market no.
Where I just happened to be, for that one video, the sales douche, and he happened to be the doctor. Because that
perfect.
went well, it's like, all right, cool, now we have characters. And then that led, oh wait, we should do series where we play the same character in each type. So action creates momentum, and momentum is like what you capitalize on that.
Yeah.
What happens is
Protect it.
you catch a little bit of motion, you catch some momentum, and a lot of people just ride on that. Like, I'm gonna just ride this high and feel good, and then they go up and down and up and down. What happens is when you're on that upward trajectory, something happens in the brain where ideas just come to you, and they come to you fast. When it's raining, go get your bucket out and catch as much as possible, because when there's a drought, you're gonna be wishing you caught more earlier. So whenever you catch a little bit of momentum and traction, capitalize, because that's gonna take you and explode it.
And keeping it running. And then when you're, let's say you have that video, the idea, and I reference it only from how I'll do stuff with, and when I see restaurants do it, where let's say they'll invite a bunch of people to come out and make content at one time. I'm like, you guys are just destroying any future momentum that we could possibly build, because if 10 of us come in, none of us have anything to talk about. Like after this, it's like, I'll come in this week, let them come in 2 weeks, run an ad on my video the next month, have somebody else come in. Like, how do you stagger that to where when you hit those peaks, cool, how do we build on the peak instead of waiting for the going back down and then rolling back up, to where, like, how do you continue to build? Because look, you guys know just as well as I do, like, building the momentum is a huge pain in the ass, like, and to keep it, like, protecting it. And I think is, as someone in the 40s now, like, understanding what are those little things that'll happen in just like day-to-day life, like what's going to throw me off fitness, or having, if my daughter gets sick, like, okay, cool, if she gets sick, what do I have to do to not screw up all of the effort and time I built over here, make sure she's all good, I'm home, I'm whatever there, but not just like, all right, I'm derailed for a week, eating went down, workout went down, this went down. Like, what are those little tweaks to make in life and in business and wherever? So what do you guys have from like your momentum side of things? When you hit something hits crazy, is there any little protocol that you've kind of created? You're like, all right, cool, this one just went batshit crazy. All hands on deck, we need to do X?
Yeah, I mean, I would, just like any business and anyone on a health journey, I think the two are very aligned in a lot of ways. People have extreme peaks where they're like, I'm rolling, I'm hitting, everything's going. And then, like you said, something will happen and it falls off the truck, you're back to square one. So the biggest thing that I think we've done really well lately, and that we messed up a lot in the beginning, was as we're on the way up this time, now we're starting to basically prepare for bad things to happen. So we're bulletproofing the process. So as things are building, we're getting more clients, we have a popular video, anything that goes well, okay, how can we make it so that if X problem happens, this continues to go? So I'll give you an example. Let's say someone is on their health journey, right? They're eating really well, they're in the gym, everything's going great. All of a sudden, blow out my knee, I can't work out anymore. It's tale as old as time. Knees or elbows, we see them all the time. Okay, well, I've rehabilitated myself, I'm getting back in the gym, I'm gonna start getting jacked up again, I'm eating real good. I'm gonna start doing some functional training to make sure that I'm not just squatting as heavy as I can to try to get as much muscle as possible. Yeah, sure, that's great. But if you do that every time you go hit legs, you don't do anything for mobilization or stabilization, you're gonna blow out your knee again. Same problem's gonna happen, you're gonna end up falling back down. So how can you bulletproof that thing, right? Do some functional stretching, some functional exercises, mix in some kettlebells, go sprint, go do whatever. There's things you can do along the way. The same thing applies to business, social media in every sense of it. We're building up now on telemedicine a massive audience, more people than we've ever seen before. But we know a constraint is gonna hit. Okay, is it gonna be that we can't provide the same quality of service to everybody? That's literally our worst nightmare. It's the number one thing we talk about. The main difference maker, there's a bunch of people in this space. You could go to anybody that can give you testosterone, a GLP-1, a peptide, whatever. What is the difference maker? For us, we know, I believe, more about this than pretty much anybody out there on the internet that's talking about it, at least from a medical perspective. There's a lot of random guys who are not doing whatever, they're selling research stuff and whatnot. And the second part is our service is second to none. I have not seen a company that is able to connect with their customers at the rate that we are and also have information to back that up. That's difficult to scale with, right? Because you need to bring the right people on that bus. So something we've now done is, instead of waiting till there's a bottleneck and we can't handle this many people, let's go hire more people. We're always hiring more people. So now maybe the guys don't get utilized right away, but a second it ticks up again, now we've got people ready to fill in those shoes. So I think, to answer your question, the number one thing you can do is, on the way up, be thinking about the way down. Be thinking about what you can do to make sure that downs don't happen again.
The paranoid, they're the ones that survive.
Yeah. The
And
preparation.
it's like,
prepared.
Yeah, the 5 Ps, you've heard them before, but paranoid survive, some might hear that saying and say, man, what a miserable way to live. But it's like, it's just learning from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And just
Understand
adding more chinks to your armor as you climb your way to the top. Your life's gonna slap you in the face.
Yes.
You're gonna fall flat on your face, and there tends to be patterns in business. So if you get slapped in the face once, that's fine. How can I make sure that doesn't happen again when things are looking good? So if you just learn from those and apply them, the compound effect takes place. Rome wasn't built in a day. Yeah. It doesn't happen overnight. One error happens here, cool, okay? If I were to ask yourself this question, if I had 10x the amount of clients that I have right now, would the systems that I'm building still operate, or would they crumble? If they would crumble, okay, how can I make sure that I bulletproof when I get there, because that's where I know where I'm heading? And just making sure that you can think in terms of years, not days and months. You have to think in terms of longevity and years if you want to build something worthwhile.
100%, man. No, I love all of it. I'm so glad that we got to have this chat. So from your growth today, and when we chatted last week, you guys are preparing for. You said it to me last week. It didn't sound like you were doing the nationwide stuff already, but like preparing for a bigger nationwide launch is really the preparation. Mostly on the hiring component at this point. Is that?
Yeah. Probably the biggest area and the biggest lever. What we've come to find is as we get bigger, every day the organization gets bigger, the people that are in it matter more and more. One bad apple spoils the bunch. We've seen it 100 times. It's probably been the bane of our existence as a company, is finding one person who kind of becomes a cancer to everybody else. So when we're in the hiring process now, because we're always hiring, we can be a lot more stringent in that hiring process and really grill and get down to the T, because we're not hiring out of urgency. So now it's, okay, I'm gonna find the best one of you guys that's in here, not who can fill this need right away, because that's typically gonna end up exposing themselves as someone who doesn't belong in the bunch.
And where is the bottleneck at this point? Do you guys have any bottleneck? Or?
We have a too many leads problem, which most businesses pray for that.
Yeah.
We, in theory, could let all of those people come in and take their money and take their revenue. But in the process, we wouldn't give the excellence of care that we hold our standards to. You have to have standards in business.
Saying no is much more powerful.
Not everybody's your customer. You should, and absolutely, at least, especially early on, Amazon probably wouldn't say no to anybody now, but when they first started, they were very niche. And too many people want to be too many things at once. You see this all too often, people in their 20s that call themselves serial entrepreneurs, thinking it's a title to say I own 9 businesses, as opposed to owning one that does really, really well. Yeah. But we got really clear on who our target demo was, so we don't take everyone, and we're happy to push someone away and recommend a different service and product. But to answer the original question, if we let everybody in, we generate all this revenue, but then as opposed to 10 out of 10, maybe we're 8 out of 10. So the main bottleneck is ensuring that we have the right people in place to be able to take these consultations at the highest level, because we value that. Mm-hmm. So it's a relationship that's established. When someone comes to Overtime, virtually, that is, when they get brought on, the first 80% of that call is discovery. We're finding out who they are, what are your needs, and we're taking time to diligently write down every step of the process with great detail. With that information, then we come up with the right plan for that person, as opposed to peddling something down their throat and saying, you need this. Hold on a second. We don't even show them a menu. A lot of our patients have no idea what we offer besides the 3 core products they're on, because that's all that's relevant to them. Mm-hmm. And we've done really good at that. And then as we further the relationship, hey, now let's add this compound for this. Now let's mix in this. We're building it in terms of, like I said, years, not months. No one comes to us to cycle things. They don't come to us to sign up for a month. They come with us to be on with us for years. It is a lifelong optimization and health journey. So we talk in terms of years. Hey, we want you to be by like this in 5 years. And they're like, man, no one's ever talking about that. It's only like month to month.
100%.
So we build the plans
to get you on there. Let's get them on the recurring order side of things.
Get jacked fast, right?
Yeah,
3 months change your life.
G90X and you're good, man. You never have to do this again.
But to bring someone on that understands that, we have to put them through a rigorous training process. Yeah. Now you might ask, you're a 1-year-old company. What training processes do you have that you didn't steal? Not to say that we stole anything, but you have to build those from scratch. So we had to bring on an operator, and he's been by far pivotal for our success.
Nice.
And our main value to this company, I think, as things continue to move forward, because when you're in the early stages, you got to wear all the hats, but it's really going to be finding the right people. And we will only ever take on A players. I want my janitor to be an A player. Like if he's going to scrub the floors, he better do a damn good job at it. I don't want to see a single scratch. And that's just because how you do anything is how you do everything. So we hold everyone to that standard. Naturally, our employees, they make more than the industry averages because we want to make sure they're compensated properly. But
finding those A players, that takes time.
Yeah.
Training them, that takes time. So too many leads, but that's fine because we're in this for the long haul, not for the money grab.
Obviously, it's a temporary problem to where it's going to get sorted out, but it's their appreciation of it is so much higher, and the confidence that you've built by saying no. The confidence that's built with no is so underrated and undervalued, I think, when, people will call me up, can you promote our XYZ, our insurance company, or this or that? I was getting my eyes checked out, and my vision guy, he's like, oh, I'll follow your page. This is so cool. Can I do some promotion with you? I was like, dude, no one gives. What the hell am I going to do? I'm going to sell glasses? Like, it's not going to work. Like, it's like if you want to do something where you're going to give away glasses to kids. Like,
there you go.
All right, cool. I have a context that makes sense. But being able to say it's not the right time, when you come back, they're like, oh, I remember seeing this. I was like, all right, cool. What do you guys have for me?
Yeah.
And then really, when you guys are looking at that longevity side of qualifying of a client, I suspect that before someone's, going to be on 2 things, 3 things, 4 things, let's get you on one or whatever it is. Be consistent at that, because if you're not going to be consistent with this one, doesn't matter what else we're going to do. That falling off to where the care that goes into it and caring for them through the entire process, like that obviously is going to morph tremendously, because we don't even know what it is after having clients for 3 and 4 years until we get to that 3 and 4 years. Like, all right, cool. What's the support they're going to need? How is that going to change as far as like, the community that you guys are going to have built is going to come with 20 other, not just income producing opportunities, but ways of connecting these people. We've talked about, you guys had a huge party here.
It's great time.
About a month ago?
Just
about
a
month ago? A couple
Actually,
weeks
I
ago?
think it was a month and 3 days, yeah.
What's that in-person events that you guys are probably going to continuously add on and create, whether it's here, it's going to grow out of this. I mean, this is obviously it's massive, but
Gets the job done,
Yeah, not bad. No, it's the intent is just making this real, having actual real life impact. So we're online, people see us on the videos, but like as far as what is there tangible in person that they can feel, see, make, establish connection with that didn't exist prior to that event. So not that every event will be ran like that, just like our very first video, we ran it, see how it went, what was the repercussions, ramifications afterwards, and then we'll pivot to optimize, right? Because it's not our way, it's whatever way works. Although the event went phenomenal, by the way, I don't have a single bad thing to say about it. As we get more into it.
And you learn. I'm sure there was some learning opportunities.
Absolutely.
Massive. But the main thing is we want to just give back to the community and have impact. If there's anything we want to have and leave our mark towards, it's not towards making a $1 billion company, towards how many lives can I actually impact. And a good example of this, you would not believe how many private equity, how many groups and organizations come to us with either flashing money or just pitching a version of our company that would sacrifice the level of care for bigger dollars in the immediate short term. And every single time, it just makes us sick to our stomach to a degree, because we know why we started and we think about that every single day. Rebuild the modern man. Simple. If I decrease my level of my quality of service, that does not get me closer to rebuilding the modern man. So why would I even have that in the foresight? In fact, we'll probably never take private equity or big money. I say probably because I don't want to put absolutes out there.
Of course.
But that's our intent right now, is to keep it internal, because the world likes to spoil shit. And when big money and big groups gets involved, usually, when you find out when a company goes public, their quality goes down. So for us, we're not doing it for that reason. We know that stuff will come eventually. We're doing it because we want to have impact.
Look, the money's gonna come.
It's going to.
It is coming, and I think a lot of perceptions is like, oh, it's hard to get financing. It's hard to get funding. It's like, it's not if what you're doing is working.
Yeah.
if you've proven success, there's a line of people who are happy to write you whatever check it is. I mean, having conversations over the last, many years, people are just like, how can we do this with you? I was like, well, I don't really need, more money's not solving a problem for me.
Right.
It's nice that it's like, all right, cool, now we have this, but it's like, that's coming regardless. How do we make, to all of I think the points that you guys continue to make, is the quality of service, the level of consistency and trust that you're building with, not just, your clients, within the communities that you're building it in, and then you're having these events where it's creating, not all those people that were here were clients, they're in different industries, and whatever those collaborations can continue to evolve into. I know you guys, I forgot who we chatted, you and I chatted on the phone, right? Yeah. Talking with, we made some great contacts there, where those great contacts are going to maybe come fruitful next month.
maybe in 2 years, and we don't know that.
One thing we learned too is with our ability
To garner attention, which is the highest form of currency today, we realized, okay, we can get people to pack the house. Now, how can we have impact in our community? So now, in the future, if we're generating or doing events like that where we bring on sponsors, it's not for us to make money. That's a value that we've gotten inherently out of it, that we've met some very important people that we want to connect. But how can we, if we know we can generate and get a lot of people out to an event and market the crap out of it, okay, cool. Now I can raise a lot of money and give back to my community, which for us, we want to give back to specifically kids, boys, get them out of the streets and put them in some sort of sports programs or some sort of like program to get them off the street. And the reason why is, number one, men, starts with boys, right? We're men's health. We're all about rebuilding the modern man. It starts with the youth, with boys, but specifically the ideology of if you give a man fish, he eats for tonight, but if you teach a man to fish, he eats forever. So it's like, while they're young, if you can get them off the streets and into some big programs, for us, we know it's infinitely more fulfilling because we know that, man, we're impacting the future of our community. How awesome is that? And it's all going back to our core values, which is just like, how can we have the most impact?
It's so tremendous. I mean, deviating off into like the children's support side of it. My wife is, she has a huge duck race that she runs that's coming up in April, and they've raised over $250,000 since she started it, and it's all going back into youth literacy because, and she gets all these statistics where like the number of kids, if you basically make it out of or past third grade and you're not at X level, it's like you're just written off. Like your trajectory is statistically just like it's either going this way or sideways by third grade, and it's insane. Like the amount, like this, it's the national statistics of it, all the different testings of things to where like how do we get more into supporting the youth in a way that's going to be effective for them, to where the sports acting, the literacy, I'm getting sucked into the literacy side because that's what my wife keeps coming at me with. She's like, you got to get these kids reading. Like, how do we do that? It's so, gets muddled in all of the things to where when you can get groups of people around and say, okay, because private money and private people we're the only ones who can move the needle. Like, it's obvious that the school system is going to be the way that the system's going to work, to where the groups of us have to kind of come together to be like, what's a common thing that we can invest effort and time into that we're all working towards together, instead of like, let's go set up a nonprofit. All right, I'm going to go set up a nonprofit that's going to do X. Like, all right, we're serving the same kids,
Right.
Right. And that events that you guys have is where I think those bigger, exciting collaborations and opportunities.
You said that's April 1st?
The event is April 18th. It's whatever the Saturday is in April.
It's around here, Tampa?
Yeah, it's at Curtis Dixon. So
I'd love it if you sent us the information. We'd love to be involved.
Oh, no, we'd love, yeah, I'm sure she would love to have you.
No. I mean, this is arguably the biggest problem in medicine, I believe, is that everybody is profit driven. It's always been that way. Look at any insurance organization that does anything in healthcare, in any hospital. None of them have the health of the people within them at the forefront. It is actually the last thing they care about. The number one thing they care about is, how do I give this person a pill that they're going to have to take forever? How do I give them more? And what do I have to do to get a recurring customer? Someone who keeps coming back because they keep having problems. It's the opposite of what we want to do. It's why we don't take insurance, because we know the second we do insurance, it's going to limit the quality of care that we can provide. Does that make us lose money? Without a doubt. You can charge 10 times more if you take insurance. In fact, that's actually what most medical practices do.
Yeah.
The second insurance gets billed, the price will typically 10x. It would be a waste of time, I believe, and it would certainly not be any life worth purpose to make a medical organization primarily on profit. And that's really the way we're looking to change it right now, by not only building a scenario where we can actually help people be as healthy as they can be the best men they can be, but also finding ways to make that impactful in the community. So I love the fact that you guys are doing this already, and we'd love to be involved.
No, we'd love to have you. There's so many cool programs. I heard of one, and my wife heard of one, that it happened in a middle school in like the Midwest, and they, instead of having like a career day sort of a thing, they took, I think it was their 8th grade class, and then based on everybody's GPA, everybody was assigned like an income. And then they went into the gymnasium, and there was, I think, 12 stations, and each station was like, getting a car or a house, 12 other things. And they were like, this is how much I have. And they're like, all right, do you want a Toyota or a Maserati? Do you want a big house? Or like, they're just like, oh shit, I'm broke. Like, instantly.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, this is the direction, guys. And it was a relatively small school. I think it was maybe 200 or 300 kids.
But at the end of the year, I was like, did you get the statistics on that? She's like, yeah, it was like 40% of the kids who were screwing around, like,
got it together.
Yeah, it's like,
that would
that
have gotten me. I wish my school did that.
And
There's so much that can be done
yeah,
with
The kids, especially, and they're the future. Like it's
100%.
It's delayed gratification because it's like you're not going to see the impact of that for years to come. But it's also testament to that. I mean, there's a lot of, like the medical industry, the education system, a lot of the institutions
yeah,
that our society is kind of built on is only made for us to be a certain kind of person, a certain compliant person that does what they're told and follows a very simple, streamlined path for life that isn't usually that fulfilling. So I think it's upon individuals, this is not nonprofits. These are big time CEOs and entrepreneurs. These are people that are typically big wigs in the industry. It takes those kind of people to come in and really shift everything. Like how Elon Musk came in and he completely changed the trajectory of how we think about driving, going to outer space, doing all these things. It takes individuals that have that innate in them to have an actual impact to be the ones that make a difference.
nice, man.
Yeah, it's funny how many of those guys also would have been the ones with the low GPAs that were broke in third grade. A lot of them, you'll see the guys with the license plate that says, 2.4 GPA or something like that is on a Lambo. But it's overwhelming how many executives don't do well in school. And I think it's because a lot of that is geared towards not giving you any sort of range to free think or to be curious about anything. It's really just this is the way it is and you do exactly the way it's drawn out. But not exactly the topic that we need to dive into, but I do think it is.
We're going to be solving world's problems.
It is part of an institutionalized issue for sure.
It is. To add to that, the joy of learning is sucked out of these kids' minds.
Yeah.
Like learning is something that should be joyous. It should provide you fulfillment. Like you should be excited to go to school. You hear kids complaining saying school's like prison, and it's like that's sad. It's like kids are the most curious people on this planet. And like growing up, I was interested in everything. I was the kind of kid that would ask my dad why for everything and kind of annoyed the crap out of him. So much so that when we'd go fishing, he would tell me to be quiet because it would scare the fish away just because he didn't want me to keep talking. Like, it's just, you, as a kid, you're supposed to ask questions. You should
be curious to learn and live. But the ones that do that aren't suppressed, they have low GPAs because they don't care about that stuff. But there's usually one or two things that they do care about that they just put everything towards, which is just so cool to see. Like the person who is, I believe the person that has the solution to cancer is alive right now. Like a lot of these things that we view and deem as impossible is alive. Although there is,
it's already cured. I mean, it's been cured for centuries.
They don't want to solve it. They don't want to cure it.
Yeah. It's I think one of the most, I have a 7-year-old and it's like you see her figure something out, and it's the gratification that's coming, and it's like has nothing to do with me, and it's a hard thing because we are very much the same person in the learning side of it. Like I saw how she was, or how she talks to me, and I remember I was talking to my mom once, and I just like heard the way that like, shit, that's where it's coming from. I've been preparing. I wasn't prepared for this, but watching the way that the kid, when these lights turn on, and the cool thing is like you can't turn it off. Then like you've learned something.
Yes.
There's no unlearning it. So I have her write stuff every morning, little affirmations, or slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Like that's one that she's soaked up more than any of the other things, and it's so fun. Like when we're doing some work, and she's just trying to get through it. She doesn't, how much more math are we gonna do? And she just like rushes through. She goes and checks it. It's not right. I'm like, slow. She's like, it's smooth. I got it. Yeah, just shut the hell up, Dad. But to wrap all this up, I know we've awesome hanging out with you guys. I know you've got. Are there any other events that are in the future that are like, all right, we're super psyched for this?
Yeah.
Or just follow you guys if you don't want to talk about it.
When is this going to get released?
Probably in April.
Okay.
Good one coming up, probably around that time actually, is we plan to, hopefully here, we'll see what happens, is have a charity boxing match. So we're going to do celebrity boxing out there in the tennis court. We're going to drop a full-size boxing ring, get everybody to sign the waivers, do the whole thing, have a EMT on staff and everything like that. And we're going to invite our friends from social media, some of the other people we're connected to come out, do boxing, and then we're going to have some local entrepreneurs in the area like we had at the last party, and got to pack the house full of women, and have a good time, raise money for a good cause. So all of the money that's raised throughout this process, there'll be sponsors. We're thinking about maybe trying to figure out a way if there's a legal way to do a gambling component, as long as it's going to charity. I think it's legal. Mm-hmm. So we'd love to figure out a way to incentivize people to be able to give more, make it fun for them, And it's going to be a really, really cool event that's going to be both fun, but also be for some sort of purpose, which we're really looking forward to it.
Awesome. Got to be purpose driven, but I think the goal is to raise over $100,000.
Nice.
I'm going to put it out there. This is the first time we've announced it publicly, and although this is going out in April, it's like we want to like think big in terms of like, no, you can raise 5K, 10K, 15. Let's raise 100.
Yeah.
Why
and
not?
if you raise 75,
good. Yeah. If you fall short of 100, cool. You fall short of exactly. So
or if we raise 150, 200, whatever, it can happen.
It can happen.
Especially if we get the gambling part figured out, I think we can.
100% on the gambling part.
Yeah.
And I have a buddy who owns a gambling. They'll come pop up all of the craps tables.
Oh,
They've
nice.
got the dealers. They've got the whole shebang.
Well, we might need that guy's number.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's super high end. He's a blast. But no, it's as long as you get it connected with the nonprofit, the money obviously has to flow in a specific way, legal things, but problems to be solved. But gentlemen, such a pleasure hanging out.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
coming by.
having
This
us.
has been awesome.
Continue to watch all the programs, follow all their channels. We've got all the details in the post text, and have an awesome day. Thanks so much for tuning in. We've got our next episode right here. If you have any questions, just leave us a comment and don't forget to subscribe.